I've already made a review of my first impressions of Knights of Guinevere episode 1, but that was pretty short, and since then I've already rewatched the episode 4 times now. After sitting with it for a bit, there's a lot more extra details I want to go over and discuss, so let's just jump right in. Get it? Because she jumps? Okay.
There was a princess, trapped in a tall, tall tower.
Alright, so who is the narrator here? On my first viewing, I assumed it was Olivia. We talk about a princess and are directly shown her, so I interpreted it as an internal monologue. But the more I thought about it, the less sure I was. Her speaking voice is definitely more reserved, but is similar to this voice.
Trapped in a tall, tall tower. It's okay, Papa. They'll bring her back.
I tried checking the credits, but there is no narrator listed, and the subtitles on YouTube only credit the voice as narrator. However, I'm pretty confident the narrator is actually Guinevere. Again, their voices are very similar.
Yes, it was so very long ago. Yes, it's so very...
Which makes me question, is the princess the narrator initially refers to actually Olivia, or is it Guinevere? She is Princess Guinevere after all, so I think it would be safe to assume that. However, looking back at what the narrator explains, they say locked away by complicated machines. Olivia, later in the episode when we see her as an old woman, matches that description too. I think there's going to be a lot more parallels between Guinevere and Olivia as the show moves forward.
That ran on blood and fear.
I wonder how literal this is, because we see Guinevere bleeding blue. Later, when she kills the large sun-faced robot named Sir Arthur, that thing seemed to bleed red. Now, it might have just been the harsh orange lighting, but I don't know, that does look an awful lot like regular blood. Do the machines in this world run on blood? We don't know just how much this world deviates from our reality of technology. There's definitely something inside all the machines we've seen. Whether or not it's literal blood or just named that way but is a different substance is still uncertain. However, Guinevere must have been human at some point, right? Because, why else would she have entrails? I'm willing to suspend my disbelief and accept that this world doesn't have the same style of robotics that we have, but why entrails? Why so long? Fun fact, your large intestine is actually 5 feet long. You have 5 feet worth of guts coiled up inside your midsection. I hate my horrible flesh prison. It's gross. I would be a cyborg in a heartbeat, which is what I think Guinevere is. A cyborg is a hybrid of a machine and flesh. An android is all robotics. I cannot think of a reason a roboticist would choose to include a 5-foot-long coil of flesh-like intestines inside of a robot. In the background of Olivia's bedroom, we see the masks of the attendants who serve her later when she's an old woman. Do we think these are also robots, or just people in masks? I'm uncertain about the different ones. We see a couple of times this picture, which seems to depict Olivia, her father, and we can barely make out a third shape who is presumably Olivia's mother. Interestingly, in this picture, Olivia has black hair as opposed to her current light blonde. Okay, I know it's possible she just dyed her hair. However, I kinda suspect Olivia has always been sick, and perhaps the lighter hair color is some sort of side effect.
I hope this can make up for... I don't think I need to say it.
I'm thinking the thing he's making up for is this illness I'm referring to. However, some people theorize this has to do with Olivia's absent mother. Perhaps she passed away? The dialogue implies a turbulent history, but nothing concrete has been given yet. Some people also theorize Guinevere is a replica or stand-in for her mother. I honestly really don't think that's the case. I don't know, maybe there's some bad blood between them, but I can't picture a girl yanking around her mother's stand-in by her bleeding entrails. Park has a little gray bit on his forehead, rocking the James Ironwood style, I see. I've seen people theorize maybe he's a robot too, but I doubt it. I think the gray piece is robotic, but I don't think he himself is. If you're that well made of a robot you can pass as human, why keep the one gray bit exposed when you could just make it all seamless, right? I think the gray bit probably connects to something, maybe like a security system, or I don't know, a fancy smartphone or something. When we see Olivia when she's a bit older, she's really swallowed up by her coat. Is it just fashion? Or is it to hide how frail and sickly she is? I'm going all in on Olivia has been sick from the beginning. I'm putting all my chips in that basket. So other commenters on my previous review pointed out this poster here, noting about babies being born blue. On the other side, it looks like a burger, I think. Like, the blue is the bun and the green stuff is lettuce. I'm thinking the babies are born blue as a side effect of the mothers eating the burger. In the next image, we see a holographic sign talking about blue lung. I think this is a similar yet slightly different issue. I think they're both stemming from the same concept of a certain pollution, just contracted in different ways. I'm not sure. Blue lung can turn you blue. This guy coughing up blue later might be turning a dark shade of blue based on his shoulders and eye bags, but I'm not so sure though. I do wonder if naturally born blue babies might be resistant to getting blue lung, or at least more resistant than others due to already having the blue inside them, or alternatively, they might be more likely to get it instead. Frankie and Andy's shirts have M7 on their sleeves. This is the place they're from. Guinevere mentions it.
Francesca and Andrea from M7.
I wonder why the uniformity of their outfits. They're actually wearing the same thing as each other, except Andy's got the scarf and shorter pants than Frankie. I like how Boombox's design upgrades as they got older. Initially it's taped together and looks more reminiscent of an old school Game Boy. Later it's wireless and slides open a bit more like a 3DS or something. You can see plushies of other Glitch production characters in the Crane game. It's cute. You can tell this Guinevere is the same one Frankie fishes up later because her middle finger bugs out the same way, also implying this is the true Guinevere they've bumped into. I can't decide if medical products being sold at a vending machine is a smart idea or terribly dystopian. I guess giving them out for free would actually be the smartest idea, huh? God, I wish we had free healthcare.
Which one did she need again?
She's so adorable. This isn't a deep dive analysis or anything, I just really love Frankie. She is so cute. Similar to the plushies from before, I bet this tooth eyeball thing is a reference to Kane from the Amazing Digital Circus.
Meanwhile, every new planet is getting terraformed.
Earlier, I referred to M7 as a place. That could be a town, but thanks to this line, we also know space travel is a thing, so M7 might be a planet. The intersection looks like a roulette wheel, or maybe a circus tent. Lots of things in this world actually have cutesy styles to them. Like inside their house, their faucet and their coffee pot have this cute Disney-ified style to everything. Also, their house is a felled Guinevere head. It's upside down and an eye has fallen over. Presumably it's part of a statue that's fallen over. I wonder if the head was there first and they built on top of it, or if the head fell onto the house. Seeing as how there's windows on her hair buns, I'm leaning more towards they built the house into the fallen head. I can't tell if it's covered in graffiti, or perhaps Frankie or Andy purposefully painted onto the head as, like, decoration. Assuming their calendar is up to date and that first X is the first of the day, this takes place on the 4th. Is this not the thrilling analysis you expected from this deep dive? Frankie has done the dishes 3 times compared to Andy's 17. Frankie apologizes about it though, and her handwriting is very nice. Also, they pay their bills bi-monthly, it seems. Andy has paid her 2 halves of rent and power. Frankie has paid them too, based on the check marks. However, the question mark next to the second power bill implies Andy doesn't know where Frankie got the money. You can see Frankie is surrounded by her little toys that later talk to her. I wonder if the other little guys get hallucinated forms too. Frankie's pose here is so perfect. She looks like a traditional princess. Like, actually, this looks like a pose you'd see from Snow White after entering the forest. Again, that Princess Guinevere influence is so deeply engraved in her. Also the fact that instead of a magical forest with adorable woodland critters, it's a grungy, beer bottle-riddled apartment with misshapen robots. It just perfectly encapsulates the style of what the show is aiming for. The snail has 420 on him. Haha. The flower is a fan, the snail is a plug-in port, and the caterpillar carries things. I wonder if the other 3 have functions for them as well, or are they just designed to be little buddies? So Andy clearly doesn't understand robotics nearly as much as Frankie does. Frankie not only makes her own little guys and fixes them, but her offhand comment also tips off Andy how to fix the robot thing she's working on. I wonder how Andy got the corporate job instead of Frankie, especially since Andy seems to resent the idea of having the job and just got it for the paycheck, while Frankie seems to really be in love with the idea of working for the park.
It's not a very sophisticated solution.
I love her. She's so cute. Oh, look, they got a little balcony with a couch. That's adorable. Your safety is your responsibility. That's not right. Many people have noticed it already, but Sparky is reading a men's adult magazine. Nice subtle characterization. Look, the pier is also labeled M7, though it's really faded away.
Frankie!
What?
Get sifting, Frank.
Frank?
Franklin.
Francesca?
So people have noticed that Sparky calls Frankie Franklin and theorize that maybe this means Frankie is trans. I'm not entirely sure though. Sparky and Frankie seem to be on good terms to a degree. Frankie worries about betraying him later, and he shows his own worry in a way.
I don't want you involved in that dreamland crap. They're always up to their necks in sick shit.
However, it's also heavily implied Sparky pulled out her teeth. Notice the 2 missing spots. So maybe not on good terms. However, I don't think Sparky would just be dead naming her. I interpreted this as light ribbing, casual jeering, but who knows, maybe Frankie is trans. The sign this guy has that they're arresting literally just says hungry. You ever notice how many things have this crown logo on them? Even Sparky's cigar is shaped like it. So Olivia's room has become a real mess. I wonder if it's from her throwing things around? She seems awfully frail for that. Or maybe it's these attendants. Perhaps they are robots and they're just knocking things over but not bothering to clean it up because that's not their function. You got an awful lot of loose pills over here. That's not very safe. You're gonna get things mixed up, silly Olivia. A lot of it actually seems to be food. I wonder if she's not eating or struggling to eat. Maybe Guinevere trashed the place the last time she escaped? We don't know how long she's been gone for after all. These things look like balloons, but they seem to actually function more like an IV drip.
Please, I have to fix her again.
I wonder if Guinevere was able to escape this time because Olivia's too frail to properly fix her now.
I need him.
Like I said, the Sun Knight guy is Sir Arthur and is the only one reacting when she says him. I'm assuming this means the moon counterpart will either be her or non-binary. I wonder how they got graffiti all the way up there. Ladders. Probably a simple solution like ladders. Real talk, Andy looks way cooler with the coat and glasses. Now that she's been fired from the park, I imagine she'll have to get rid of her uniform she's been wearing throughout the episode. I wonder what her new outfit will look like. Andy stopping to stare at these flyers seems to really imply she wants to travel off-planet. Frankie's pretty open about what she wants with her life. Andy's goals are a lot more subtle this time around. I hope we dive more into Andy's dreams in the next episode. So this guy coughs on Andy. Some people think this is him accidentally infecting her with blue lung, and that's why there's blue in their spit handshake later. We don't know enough about blue lung to know if it can be contracted this way, but I don't know. Also, I'm still not so sure it wasn't Sparky who has the blue lung. His cigar is covered in dots of blue, so it might have been from him. Steampunk Guinevere. Space Guinevere. Katamari Damacy Guinevere? Mermaid Guinevere, I like that her buns are jellyfish, that's cute. Mouse Guinevere, if the Disney themes weren't obvious enough for you. Rubber Hose Guinevere, my personal favorite. I love Rubber Hose animation. Regular Guinevere, and I'm not entirely sure. She has an eye patch, but her buns are like pin cushions for sewing. What do you think? Maybe it's obvious and I'm just not thinking of it. So, out loud, Frankie's reasonings for fixing Gwen is to get a job at the park.
I could fix her. If I do, maybe I can get an engineering job like Annie's.
However, her hallucinated friend's reasonings for fixing Gwen is a lot more about loyalty to Gwen herself.
Yeah, the princess is the princess. Is it stealing or is it rescuing?
That impact, that deep-seated adoration of Guinevere is creeping through with these 3 revealing Frankie's true feelings. These 3 don't have names. I'll give them little nicknames so then I can talk about them easier. How about Pebbles, Sweetheart, Chomperella? That sounds good. Chomperella has a diamond pattern, while Sweetheart has a heart pattern, but Pebbles doesn't have a pattern like that. A lot of things in this world have star shapes, heart shapes, and crown shapes. Maybe Pebbles' pattern is meant to be a crown because of their little helmet. Not gonna lie, at first I thought they were doing a card pattern thing, and Pebbles might be a club or a spade, but neither of those seem quite right. Earlier, I wondered if Frankie dreams up little buddy versions of her other robots, but I find it interesting that Boombox is here in the scene, and and she's not seeing them as a little talking friend. So we can clearly see she's dreaming up her little buddies talking to her, that's obvious, but the commercial she's watching is also a part of her hallucinations. It's not like Andy is turning the power off when she enters. We, the audience, is just jumping to reality with her introduction. Frankie doesn't even seem to register her at first, revealing she's literally just watching a static screen. Frankie isn't just dreaming up little buddies to be her conscience, she's daydreaming about literal Guinevere advertisements too.
Right, Guinevere?
That's right.
On one hand, I think Frankie's impression sounds too out of character. On the other, I 100% think Frankie would have spent her life practicing Princess Guinevere's voice. Sparky's gotta clean out his ashtray. That's a fire hazard, man.
To do what? Shine some shithead shoes and—
Not an analysis thing, but this animation is fantastic. This is some of the most amazing lip syncing I've ever seen. It's really cool.
Especially 'cause you're you.
I wonder what he means by that. The way he talks of Frankie implies a long, almost family-like history. I wonder if they're related, or maybe he adopted her, or he knew her family. Sparky's going to be a major player moving forward with the story if his final threat is anything to go off of. I'm excited to know what's going on between these two.
Stop! You're gonna damage her!
Shout out to Frankie being 0% afraid of getting hurt and only caring about the protection of this already busted up Guinevere. Hey, look on the bright side. At least he didn't pull out the gun he's been carrying. I really love the framing with this shot. Having it be framed so high gives it this offsetting feeling, like something's not quite right. Also, with the harbor crates behind them, there might be a bit more going on here visually. Andy is boxed in, closed off. There's no sky touching her. She feels trapped. Frankie has an opening around her. She can get free and pursue her dreams, but it's such a small window of opportunity. Sparky is also boxed in, but there's potential just out of reach above him. The sky's the limit thanks to this deal they're making. You might be a sometimes the curtains are just blue kind of person, but I personally love looking too much into details like this. I think it's way fun. So, surprise, I've actually never been to Disneyland or Disney World, so I wouldn't know for certain, but these domes in the lower labs totally look like the Epcot ball, right? Little thing, running animation is super good in this episode. Like, running towards camera is hard to animate. It's got foreshortening and a lot of moving parts. I'm super impressed with how amazing it looks in this episode. I wonder what Sir Arthur's arm is made of. Like, it moves almost like a liquid. Is that common in this world? It's got like claws and shit too. Demonic. Olivia's attaching demons to her robots or whatever. So based on how exposed her skeleton is, I thought Gwen didn't have her intestines anymore. However, it seems like she's using something like her intestines to carry Frankie here. Or at least it's some sort of gross tendril thing. I hope we get to see Andy's point of view of this moment next time, because since Frankie's hallucinating the princess as perfect here, we don't really know what she's doing or saying in reality. She must have done something to freak out Andy though, given her reaction. Sir Arthur seems to have intestines too. Is it blood? Is it robotic? Is this common? Why do the robots have intestines? And that was all I could find, and all the theories and speculations I have so far. If there's any other neat things you've noticed that I've missed, or any theories you want to share, I would love to see them in the comments below.
Once upon a time. And this was a very long time ago indeed.
But not long enough ago that it's not still very relevant.
What is my purpose?
You pass butter.
Oh my god.
Yeah, welcome to the club, pal.
Who do you think the hottest girl in school is? The Epcot ball? Well, I like Melanie, and not just because she's pretty. I think she's really fun.
Shout out to my $10 patrons. You're all amazing. Andrew, Valhalla Knight, Chamomile, Classy Critic, Genital War Thunder, Jake, Amber, Scaring Crows, Not All That Evil, Holly, Messiah, Jacob, Ben's Sketchbook, Rain, Trash, Wild Pilot, Josh, Twisty, Juan, Bunkin Duncan, Hoodie Angel, Ranger, Sean, Primaroon, Overhypen, Lavaros, Knight, Plague, Tyrene, Thanos, Pandemonium, Peter, Agiri, Shahid, Eden, The Eliza, Doki Poki, Moon of Blues, Spencer, Vargas Blue, Cage the Mage, Zappy, Wolfgang, Dima, Philip, and Mr. Mailman. So yeah, I'm now that I've done this, now we just have to sit around and wait for however long it takes for episode 2 to come out. But let me know any and all thoughts and theories, opinions, anything you think about this episode. We can go, the sky's the limit. It's crazy. We don't know anything about this world yet, so I think it's gonna be a lot of speculation, and I think that's very exciting. Let me know what you think about Knights of Guinevere. Again, did I miss anything? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.